Okay, today we are discussing roots. The most familiar root would be a square root, and the square root of a number is when a number is multiplied by itself to get a product, and the product is reversed back to the root number. So as you can see in my example here, we have 3 squared, which means 3 times 3 is 9. And then if we want to reverse it back, we're going to use the square root symbol and put the 9, the product, inside the square root symbol. And that kind of means go back to its original root, which would be 3. Okay, so there's the root squared, the product of squaring it, use the square root symbol, and then you're back to the root. Now, there are more roots besides square roots. So, for example, there is a cubed root. That would be 3 cubed, which means 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. And then if we want to reverse back to the root of 3, we would use that symbol that we're familiar with for square root, only if you put a 3 here, it means cubed root. So the cubed root of 27 would equal 3. All right, and you can do that with other roots. So 3 to the 4th power would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 81. And so then the 4th root is how you would read that. The 4th root of 81 would be back to 3. So this symbol we use is called a radical sign, and you can look here at this formula. A to the nth power equals b. Then b to the nth root equals a. All right. Now let's look at one last example. The cubed root of negative 27. Oh, a negative inside the radical. Okay, well that would equal negative 3, because negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, well, when you multiply the first 2 negatives, you end up with a positive, but then that positive you end up with times that last negative equals negative 27. So those are our roots. Now, let's look at something else today. We're going to simplify algebraic expressions. Okay, so the 2 things we need to know for this is the meaning of a term and how to find like terms. So a term is a number, variable, product of a number and variable, and there's more. It depends on how complicated your algebraic expression gets. All right, so what's a like term? Well, terms that have the same variable factors. So let's do a practice problem of simplifying an algebraic expression by combining their like terms. Now, what I like to do when I simplify is use different colors to organize my like expressions. So I've got myself a few colors laid here, and I'll start with my x's. Okay, this is actually a number times x. And let's see, are there any others? Oh yes, here's negative 3x. So those are like terms. Even though this one's positive, this one's negative, we would consider those like terms. And notice, as I'm organizing, I'm going to circle and include the symbol in front. Okay, are there any more x's? I don't see any more. Okay, I'm going to use my favorite color for my next one. All right, now do you see the y? Well, this was supposed to be pink. That looks more like red. Anyway, pink's my favorite color. I'm going to circle my y's. Now, when you get used to this, later on, you get more experienced. You probably won't need to use the colors, but as you're starting out, it's a good method. So here are my whole numbers. So you can see I have 3 different colors organizing my like terms. Now let me simplify. I'm going to take my blue ones first. Okay, so combining 4x with negative 3x, well, that would leave 1x, right? 4x minus 3x is 1x. Well, we don't list it with the 1 in front. So that's just kind of that invisible one. So I'll just leave an x there. Now, how about my whole numbers? Let's make them all go right here. Okay, I have a negative 16 and a positive 3. That would bring that down to negative 13. And then a positive 5. Let's see, would that be negative 8? I believe that would be negative 8 when I combine negative 13 and positive 5. So, and my x was positive, so I'll put a plus between. Okay, now what do I have left? My red that was supposed to be pink. All 3 of these. So I have negative 2y and plus 7y. That would bring that to 5y. And negative 2y would make it plus 3y. So I have combined my like terms and I have simplified this algebraic expression to negative 8 plus x plus 3y. Now you need to do some practice problems. Thank you.